Okay, guys, we are live. It is Saturday afternoon. It's 2:30. I've got the legend Keith with me at Ethan Ryan on Twitter to talk all things red. We're going to talk about the squad depth. Nice little 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. We'll see how we get on. And obviously the Burnley game tomorrow. I think United drew 1-1. Am I right saying that? Was it 1-1? It was in injury time. Yeah. Knowing those bastards, they probably get a goal in the 98th
or
minute.
Concede.
Or concede. They're fucking shite at the moment. I think they're absolutely shite. I think it was finished 1-1, but they're absolutely terrible. What a great way to start off the podcast. If it finished 1-1, of course. But Keith, how are you? All good?
I'm good, yeah. Good. To be honest with you, good. Good form. Good form.
Looking forward to the Ireland fucking France game in
Paris.
Rugby,
actually. Yeah. I like rugby. I like the international rugby net, to be honest with you. I like Six Nations. I always do. It's always good crack.
Oh yeah, I'd say it's great.
So,
you ever had a game? You ever go to a game?
Yeah, been to a couple of them.
Yeah, I'd say that's good crack.
Yeah, away games are good crack as well, to be honest with you. I've been away
before and after pints, what? Before and after fucking pints.
The away ones are good, they're always good crack.
No, absolutely. Helen is in the house as usual. Afternoon, mate. Hope you're well. You're all well. We're going to have a nice little chat about the Reds. As I say, hit the like, hit the share, let people know we're live. Bit unusual time to go live for me, 2:30 on Saturday. And we shall see. Okay, so Keith, I was just looking at, before we get into the Burnley bit of chat, just the squad depth the other night, that bench, I was just looking at it. The likes of the likes of Salah coming on, the likes of Elliott coming on, the likes of Henderson not even being there, the likes of Mane not even being there. And we had that bench and we had that starting 11. I mean, things are looking good.
Yeah, things are looking good. I'm just thinking about it this morning. And geez, I hope I'm not tempting fate, but it does feel like the juggernaut is starting to kind of roll again, It does feel like we're going to be hard to beat, and we're maybe on that pathway to where we were a couple of seasons ago, where we looked like we were absolute world beaters. To be honest with you, I think a settled side has helped that. I think some wins. I think if we can go another 4 or 5 games wins under our belts, I think we'll be in really good stead now towards the end. The end of the season and competing for all the trophies. To be honest with you, it's just a pity we're playing. It's a pity we play City so late, I suppose, in the campaign. But as they've shown over the last couple of weeks, they're not. I don't think they're completely devoid of dropping a couple of points here and there. And all we need is a couple of draws, and a huge match against them over there. So listen, we're in really good shape. To be honest with you, really good shape right the way across the pitch. If we start from the back going forward, I thought we were a hell of a lot solid.
Yeah.
Against Leicester, looked a lot more solid than we had done, to be honest with you. It really didn't give them a sniff, to be honest with you. Matip and Van Dijk kind of back to their best, but midfield was just pouring. That Thiago Fabinho partnership the other night was just something else. And a real kind of a mature midfield performance. Thiago staying on his feet. I think he had as many interceptions as Fabinho had during the match, and then his distribution. So I think 2/3 of that central midfield worked really well the other night. And then I think when Elliott came on, it looked, that looked to me to be almost a go-to partnership for the rest of the season if we can keep everybody fit. To be honest with you, throw it out there for debate, obviously, but if we had Fabinho, Thiago, and Elliott on the other side, I think that's a really strong, midfield, to be honest with you. And then we've got everybody firing up front, to be honest with you. So it looks great. Keep everybody fit, to be honest with you, and we're going to be extremely difficult to beat for the rest of the season. And
we've only lost 2 games in all competitions, Keith. I mean, West Ham away, Leicester away, and you could say the Leicester game, we probably didn't deserve to lose that game. Really,
I think
the West Ham game.
I'm not so worried about the defeats, to be honest with you. I think it's unusual you go through without 1 or 2 defeats, to be honest with you. I think the draws have really damaged us in the league this year. It's the draws more so than the defeats. The defeats have been few and far between, and the draws from winning positions has really damaged us. But anyway,
it's actually
nothing over.
Yeah. Look, I think we're papering over cracks because I don't know. I think Liverpool now, we've turned the corner. I think January was the corner what we needed to turn. Everybody was worried about Mane, Salah, Naby Keita, even though he's never really there, but being away, AFCON, a lot of games ticking fast, rescheduled games. We still have to play the Leeds game that was called off on Boxing Day. But the squad, the players coming back at the right time. The looks of Elliott is a bonus. Diaz coming in the back door, basically in the last few days of the window, which no one really seen.
Yeah.
You know, it just gave us a huge boost going forward, really. And he has fit in. He's fit like a glove. He has fit like a glove.
And
I mean,
he's almost given free license, to be honest with you, from what I've seen so far, albeit a cameo and another position. But he doesn't hold the wing. He comes inside. You know, he's almost playing like a 10 at times. You know, so he's popping up all across the front, and he's obviously been given license to do that. But he does. You know, so and you can see him filling in absolutely anywhere across that front three. And I suppose at times he could even play in the middle third out there as well if he wants to play him out there, because he tracks and he gets stuck in, you know, and he's up and down.
He's a Liverpool player, full stop.
Yeah,
he's a Liverpool player.
You know, the scouting that the lads do in terms of once we sign players, you know, apart from one of the really technical positions, you know, whereby it takes a huge amount of work, fullback with Robertson that time. If you're a player, you come in, to be honest with you, and you fit into that system. My only concern going forward is our chance conversion, to be honest with you. Like, you know, popping in.
We've so many chances to kill Leicester there. All you need at 1-0 with 10 minutes to go is a squeaky bum or a mistake, or I know what you mean. If we shooting boots basically on, I know what you mean.
So I just think the chance conversion, and I think what happens when you start going down to the shootout kind of competitions, where you start going later on in particularly in the cup competitions, and particularly in the Champions League, right? I think that needs to improve, to be honest with you. I think we'll get away with it in the league because we should be very dominant. We've got very few, I suppose, on paper. You know, we've got very few games that we should struggle.
Really struggle. Yeah, I know. You know, we'll have most of the possession, Keith. That's the thing in a lot of those games. You know what I mean?
And I think what we have seen though is when we get the second, we look like scoring the third and the fourth. The second goal seems to be the issue. We get the first goal well enough, getting that second goal, because once we get the second goal, it seems to relax everybody, and then we start playing some beautiful football, you know, and then it can be 3 and then it can be 4. Getting from 1 to 2 seems to be a bit of an issue at the moment. And it does have us all having fucking kittens, you know, up until that point, you know. But as I said to you when I started off, it really feels to me like if we can go on a bit of a run now. Now I know we're on a bit of a run, but you know, if we can go the next 4 or 5 games, not just unbeaten, but we win and we win well, I think you'll start the team will start to feel that juggernaut is going again, you know, and you can just see us steamrolling absolutely everybody. And I'd fancy us to have a really good scalp off City there. That's why I'd love to have these games under our belt. I think we still need a little bit more confidence going up there, to be honest with you. But you know, who knows? We're in great fettle now coming into Champions League as well. So.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, this next 2 weeks we have left in February. I mean, we've the potential of, you know, cutting City's lead, hopefully to 6 with that game in hand. I think the Leeds game we played just before the League Cup. Potential of a cup final, we have a cup final. Potential of a trophy against Chelsea at the end of the month. Plus the first leg on Wednesday against Inter. Yeah, to do something there. Away goals don't count, so it's just a matter of getting a result there and bringing it back to Anfield. You know what I mean? But there's so much can happen in the next 2 weeks, I think, defines the whole bloody season, Keith. I think if we won the League Cup at the end of it, it'd take a lot of pressure off. Do you not think? You have a trophy absolutely. There. You have a trophy, relax.
Confidence
everything else is a bonus. That's
it'll
what
give those lads a taste. It'll give them a taste of trophy lifting, right?
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, and it's worked for City so many seasons past, to be honest with you, you know, where they go on a run after they get to a cup final and they win that cup final, they just go in the league. And I think you're right. I think it'll do the exact same thing to us. I also don't think it's the end of the world if we don't go over. It's a once-off match. I think we've got bigger fish to fry. It'd be fantastic to do it. I think it'll stand us in good stead. I don't think it'll be a massive blow if we don't get over the line against Chelsea. Listen, I think we're in far better shape than they are at the moment. Far better shape.
I say we'd be favourites going into that game.
I think we should be favourites. Sure, they've got their World Club Cup match now the weekend, haven't they? And then so their preparation is being disrupted, to be honest with you. They haven't been great. I think they pretty much probably feel themselves are out of the league. So, you know, I think we're in far better nick than they are going into that cup final, to be honest with you.
We'll talk about the Burnley game tomorrow, 2:00 at Turf Moor. It's not going to be an easy game. I'll just have a quick chat about that. North Red is saying it could be tricky tomorrow. I don't want to get complacent. We could get a lot of set pieces around our box from trickery. Diaz, Salah, Trent could have a free kick or two. Do you know what? Their physical side, Burnley, I know they got rid of Chris Wood. Dyche, they're bottom of the table. I know they've 2 or 3 games in hand of the other teams, but that doesn't really. You've got to get results. You got a 1-1 against United the other night. Probably could have won that game in the end. There are too many draws. I think they've 11 draws, Keith. One win. They've only one win in the Premier League. One win. 11 draws. 14 points is all they have. But we've actually a better record, I think, at Burnley than we do at Anfield against them. I know that sounds weird.
Yeah.
We've a better record there, so I'd be confident going into that. It won't be easy, but I'd be confident.
Draws are no good for them now at the moment. Draws are no good for them in their position. They need wins. So I'd expect them to try and be resolute, I suppose. They're not going to come out and try to play football against us. So they're probably just going to try and do the usual thing of resolute, sit in nice and deep, try and frustrate and try and catch us, a set piece or something into the box or a mix up or something along those lines. That's pretty much the way they're going to play tomorrow. I can see us having all the possession. As I said, it's chance conversion with us. It's absolutely chance conversion with us tomorrow. So be interesting to see what he does up front tomorrow.
Do you know what? It's going to be interesting what team he bleeding picks with Inter Milan on Wednesday. It's hard to pick teams, and this is a good point, Keith. It's getting harder for me, for you, for Ivan, for any of the lads, Jack, to pick a Liverpool starting 11. That's actually a great sign. That means we've options. That means we have probably 16, 17 players now who could start, and you couldn't really say anything about it, Keith, where this time last year, you know what I mean? We hadn't even got 11 players to start, never mind fucking 17, where, we've youth, we've experience in there, we've quality right through the squad, even the young lads, like Elliot, Kade Gordon, Morton, these young lads coming up through, probably more, see more of them next year. But that's the big thing for me, the quality we have now, and the fact that I'm going to try giving 11. You try give me your 11 for the Burnley game at the end of the show. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be. I see Rod's putting something in here, a little curveball about Mane leaving in the summer. Of course, congratulations to Mane for winning the AFCON. He was absolutely brilliant in that tournament. I have a little theory on the likes of Salah, Mane and Bobby, our famous three amigos. The theory is three of them have a year and a half left on their contracts. Three of them contracts are up next season. Salah, I believe, will sign. I think that it's inevitable. It has to be done. Even the short sales apparently are 40%. Mo Salah on the back of them, right? So there you go. He's our real world icon out of those three. Mane comes in quick. I mean, with AFCON, he's got a lot of exposure. He is potentially, on his day, he is world class. On his day, he has dropped the levels. But I still do think, we'll try to keep Mane and get him on an extension. Bobby's the question mark for me. And with that young lad, Carvalho from Fulham, I have a feeling that Bobby could go with a year left, maybe to somewhere like Barcelona, and they bring in Carvalho as a replacement. Well, just a quick one on that. What's your thoughts on the three amigos running out of time to sign up?
I think we need to see an improvement from Mane, to be honest with you. I think he's been abject for about a season and a half. I know he has spits, and it'd be interesting to see what the reaction is now with Diaz. Now, and albeit I haven't seen Diaz as an explosive striker yet. He's been looking to he's got in a couple of times, to be honest with you. Just haven't seen that goal conversion. But I think his all around play, in terms of his ball retention, holding up possession, and continuity of play. And from what I've seen so far, albeit over a game and a half, it's superior to what we get off Mane. In that position whereby we see a lot of balls coughed up. We see a lot of possession coughed up from Mane outside of what he can do in the box and all that trickery. He does cough the ball up a lot. He does give away a lot of stuff, right? A lot of ball, which you don't see with Diaz. And I think that's an important part of what we need to do going forward. There's a bit of game management. When we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I've seen improvements, definitely saw improvements against Leicester in terms of our game management. Sometimes you don't get that with Salah and Mane. They're just trying to score goals all the time, and it doesn't really matter what the rest of the team need at that particular time. They're just looking to score goals, So I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think he's signed, sealed, and delivered Mane, to be honest with you. And when you think about it, he's probably the one you would extract the most amount of value out of if you were going to sell one of the three. As I said, I don't think Salah's going. I could see Bobby hanging around. I think Mane is the one that not to say he won't go, to be honest with you, but I think he is the one out of the three who we might see move first, to be honest with you.
Take a few million for him, maybe from likes of Madrid or something, or Barca or someone like that.
It's still a serious amount of money.
Yeah, maybe.
The other thing really is that nothing happens and he runs down his contract and he goes on a free. That could easily happen as well. That could
happen as well. Listen, I personally, nobody wants to lose any of the 4-3. Of course, they don't. They've been brilliant for us. But I'm just talking practically in business terms. And That's the way it comes down to boils down for
Yeah.
for
You're going to get more
FFG,
for Mane. You're going to get more for Mane than you are for Bobby, aren't you? No matter
Oh
what
yeah,
way you
absolutely.
So,
But let's
no,
hope
you're
they,
right.
they come.
Listen,
Yeah,
don't want to see anybody. Listen, if somebody does go, you just want to make sure that they're going for the right reasons. They're happy to be going, and the club are happy, you know, and it's been well thought out and gone through. Apart from Salah, obviously, I don't want that.
Well, look, nobody knows. Rami Abbas, I suppose his agent knows. Salah's agent. We all know. We all want Salah. Everyone wants bleeding Salah. If he did leave for a free or in the summer or whatever, yeah, unless we got someone like bleeding Mbappe or Haaland to replace him, I think there'd be uproar. To be fair, but I think he deserves for what he's done. Never mind this year, Keith. For every bleeding year he's been at the club, you know what I mean. Let's be real. For every year,
he's still got a huge amount to offer. He's still got a huge amount to offer.
Unbelievable.
You saw the hunger in him when he came on the other night. Like he was just like
could have had two. Probably should have had one. Yeah. You know what I mean? He should have had one, could have had two.
Should have had one, but like, you know, just like a man possessed. So
I think you'll see a man possessed from Salah now between now and the end. And the fact that he didn't win the AFCON, he looked distraught for that. Obviously, he wanted to win it for Egypt. And you might see a taste of trophies from Mane saying, listen, I've the AFCON, first time Senegal ever won it, in his back pocket. And I don't know whether you see the crowd scenes in Dakar. I think it was.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely
you know,
amazing.
So maybe he's got a taste for it as well and saying, listen, we're in 4 trophies. We still have a chance in the league. It's going to be tough against City. Of course it is. But I still think we have an outside chance. We've definitely got a great chance in the 3 cups. We've a cup final. We're always good in the Champions League. It's in our DNA. And I think we'll give the FA Cup a good go. We'll give the FA Cup a good go. It's only the second time in Klopp's 6 years that he's been in the 5th round. 7 years, sorry, that he's been in the
if we can get ourselves to a semi-final in any competition, our record is that strong. You know, that team know how to navigate semi-finals. They know how to navigate 2-leg cup ties. So that's why we always do so well in the Champions League generally, and that's why we always do well in the business end of cup competitions, because we know how to navigate 2-legged ties. We just Klopp is a master.
Hard to beat. We're unbelievable to beat over 2 legs. Yeah. Now the away goals don't count this year.
We lost one, I think, haven't we?
Well, we lost against Atletico.
Semi-final.
Semi. Sorry. Even 2 legs are hard for us to lose. Never mind that.
We've only lost one semi-final, I think.
But listen, there's so much football to play, Keith. But the thing about it is, we've got confidence now. We've actual, real, founded confidence, not fake confidence.
You know, we have
real confidence in the team. I think.
I tell you what else we have. We've got competition. We've got competition all over the pitch.
That gives me confidence. You know what I mean?
You don't get any greater driver for players than competition. Nowhere.
Absolutely.
They're all as long as the dressing room is all good and everyone's pulling in the right direction, which clearly everybody is. Competition is really good, to be honest with you. It's healthy competition. It's not, it's not unhealthy competition. It's players driving each other on, and when they do get that chance, they're like, well, listen, I want to hold on to the shirt, so I'm going to be 110% every time I'm on the pitch. So I think it's fantastic. We're in really good shape now.
We're in a good shape. Just going to have a quick word about the team tomorrow. As I said earlier, it's so hard to pick a starting 11 for Liverpool. Yeah. It really is. It's so hard to get it right. You can have an idea and set the spine and go, right, that's what he should play. That's what he will. With one eye on Inter Milan Wednesday as well, which is a tough. I mean, they're top of the Italian league. They're not there for any reason other than being decent. We should get past them in 2 legs, but it'll be a tough game Wednesday night, I think. So what do you think tomorrow? Would you obviously go Alisson and goal? What way would you set out the defence, midfield, forward line?
I think there's going to be a couple of changes, to be honest with you. It's just where those changes are going to be, because you're looking at Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then what's the next match after that?
Well, it's Wednesday.
I
think then it's Sunday.
It's Thursday, then Sunday.
It's
so we've won 2, 3, 4 games within the space of 10 games.
Huge games. Huge.
So I think we'll probably rotate one of the back 4. You could see Konate come in for Matip.
Maybe.
If not on Sunday, he'll definitely do it on Wednesday. He could very well keep Matip and rest him. I'm just trying to think about who gives us the best opportunity. Who's going to be under the most amount of pressure? You know what? I think he might put. If I was him, I'd probably put Konate in Sunday and keep Matip for Wednesday. I think it's a different type of game, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll have as much to do Sunday as he will do Wednesday. And for that reason, I'd pretty much prefer to have Matip in there. That's the only change I'd make across the back 4. across the three. The only change I'd break is I'd bring in Elliott for Jones. And then I would go.
So you wouldn't bring Hendo back in the middle now?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't bring him back in just yet. To be honest with you, I would like to see that go a little bit further. I would like to see, like, Burnley away is always a tough match. To be honest with you,
need a bit of physicality, a bit of strength.
No, we have a physicality with Thiago. We've got physicality with Thiago. We've got physicality with Fabinho. No, there's no need for any more physicality. What we actually need is people who can unlock and people who can score goals. And I'd much prefer to have Thiago and Elliott either side of Fabinho. To be honest with you, and then I'd go Diaz, Jota, Salah.
Oh, would you? Yeah. Leave Mane in the bench, obviously.
Yeah, I think has he trained two? Has he only trained one? He only got back on when?
I think he only trained Friday. I think he only came back Friday. I seen it. TV. Listen, we know Klopp. To be honest, I'd like a starting Mane on Wednesday night and getting to San Siro. Would you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a big pitch in San Siro, ready to rock. You know?
Yeah, it's a big pitch. Maybe. You could even look at dropping Diaz back into the left side of that midfield.
Yeah,
Diaz and Mane on the left hand side. Fuck me.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go slightly different, obviously.
Yeah.
The odds on us both being right. I mean, even the odds was picking 6 or 7 players for tomorrow is going to be tough. But I think Alisson goes in goal, obviously. I think Van Dijk, Matip, I'd keep them there for now. I mean, Matip, I know, fingers crossed, he hasn't been as injured as... I think it's a run of games he needs, and he's got it with Van Dijk. And Van Dijk, he just complements Van Dijk. I mean, it's our best partnership, let's be real, it is. Whether it stays together for the whole season is the question, obviously. Question marks. I keep Trent in there, and I would keep Robbo. I keep the back 5 with the keeper the way it is. The midfield and the forward line is the questions for me. I think Henderson comes back in.
Yeah.
I think Fabinho's there. I think Thiago. I think that trinity. I don't think he starts Elliott. I think it's that trinity that we know: Hendo, Thiago, and Fab. And up front is the big question mark. Mo Salah comes back in from his cameo the other night. So Mo Salah starts, and I think Diaz starts again. It just needs that game. Don't rest him. Give him the game. And I think there's a chance he might play Bobby again. Or Jota. Jota. What are we talking about? See the options. Playing one of the best players in the world right now, who is Jota. So you've Jota.
I do your midfield against Inter.
Nice
I think we need a little bit more lock picking. I think we need more lock picking tomorrow, to be honest with you. I think our issue is going to be conversion. And I'd play Elliott all day long.
North Red says Diaz Mane on the left side is tasty. Very, very tasty. It's very tasty. Absolutely tasty. It's tasty all over the bloody pitch, isn't it? It's tasty all over. But as I said, Keith, it's so hard. I mean, you could have Mane, potentially Bobby on the bench, Elliott on the bench, Naby on the bench, Kanate on the Simicas. I mean,
there's literally only one position that's not really under threat on the entire team, where there's zero competition.
Salah starts, it is.
No, Trent, right back.
Well, we've no cover really. Yeah, we've no huge cover.
That's what I mean.
Echo Williams on loan. Yeah. We'll definitely have to address that in the summer. I think there in midfield will have to be addressed. Depends who leaves first. You fill in the gaps who leaves. But right now, if someone asked me, the perfect squad would be good cover for Trent, and I think we'd be covering all bases. Would you?
If Carvalho is done,
Carvalho, yeah.
Carvalho is done. It's. You're not talking about major surgery in the summer again, because we've made those couple of, you're talking at maybe 1 or 2.
Because remember, the Luisdiaz was penciled in for a June or July signing. We just pushed it forward. So the other thing I'm thinking is FSG might try play their mind games and do a big contract for Mo in the summer. There's your big signing. Your big sign. You understand that it makes more sense for them, doesn't it? There's your big sign. He only had a year left. We're giving them another 3 or 4 years. There's Salah tied down. There's your forward line. There's your Mane. Maybe give him the contract. Whether Bobby goes or not. You've Diaz there. You've Jota there. Carvalho comes in, an attacking midfielder. You can play up anywhere in the front 3. You know what I mean? Elliott's in form. You've got all that going on. Maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe just bring in a midfielder.
Yep.
And a fullback. I don't think they'll need much more than that, Keith. I really don't.
Needs the way. Well,
I'll let you go if you want to rock and roll. I might stay out for another little while, but just looking at a few. No, we'll stay out for half an hour anyway. Give another about 5 or 6 minutes. Hit the like, guys. Hit the share. We're just going to have a little chat. Obviously, tomorrow I'm going to go 2-0 to the Reds. It won't be an easy... Look, is there easy games in the Premier League anymore? I don't think there, especially away from home. They all want to get something over.
No, not against a resolute side, I can't see any more than 2, to be honest with you. Can't really see any more than 2, and I'll be delighted with that.
Can you see them scoring? From a set piece or something, maybe. They are dangerous. They're big lads, you know. But other than that, no.
Like, yeah, we haven't. The only thing I can see us is a mess up, to be honest with you. You know, is a rush of blood. Is we get turned over in the wrong area, and it's one or two quick passes, and we do it that after like 10 minutes of domination, you know, and then we just get a little bit sloppy in the wrong area, and all of a sudden there's a ball over the top or some quick passing, and there's somebody in on Allison. Allison does something silly. Or a set piece, a corner, or something scrambled over the line, which could happen in every match, to be honest with you. But I really can't see them, you know, dominating for periods of the game, to be honest with you. But the only concern really is that it's a really tight, messy 2:00 kickoff on a Sunday in Burnley. Like, there's not an awful lot to get the lads really up and firing. That's why they need to be professional. They need to be clinical, you know. Just get
Keith,
the job
as I said,
done.
I prefer, I couldn't bother me. A scrappy OG 1-0, I take it right now, walk away. Yeah. No injuries. Look forward to San Siro on Wednesday night. Jude Bellingham is an interesting one. I don't know. I know there's a lot of links with Jude Bellingham to Liverpool. What do you think? I don't know if you know much about, but the Dortmund.
No, to be honest with you,
he is a good player now, but you'll pay a lot of money. I don't know whether Liverpool would be
Carvalho for 10 or him for 90. Fuck
yeah.
off. It's not even something to consider, to be honest with you.
No.
I don't think so. You know, like what you've seen of that lad, like, you know, all Carvalho is sure to do is going to Dortmund for a season and going from 10 million to 65, 70 million. That is the only difference, right? Yeah. Like, he's gone up to the Etihad and scored. No bother. Right? No bother. Scoring goals for fun. You know, I think that's, if we've got it done, it's done and dusted, it is super scouting. Absolutely super scouting from our perspective.
And that's what we've been good at in the last, say,
that's what we've been good
3-4 years, Keith. I mean, it's just dreamland. I did a video yesterday. It was a walk-along video. I was walking at the phone on me. I was just saying, guys, people don't realise. Guys in the chat, I'm sure you do. Any legacy Reds who have followed Liverpool since the 80s and 90s will know. These good times we are living through the last few years, especially with Klopp coming in 2015, you know, they don't come around forever. And they don't last forever. United fans can tell you that. I mean, Liverpool can tell you we were dominant in the 70s and 80s. United were dominant in the 90s and 90s. The great AC Milan side, even the great Barcelona side and Madrid sides aren't as good as they were. It is so hard to stay dominant in any league. And that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Nobody wants the same team winning everything every year. I mean, City at the moment are just the money behind them. That's the difference, I think, nowadays. It's the power dynamic through money, Keith. That wasn't really there in the 80s and 90s as much as it is now. Now it's money. It's all about the Benjamin Franklins, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, but we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago, and like, what you really need to be, we all need to be very realistic, I suppose, in terms of what we're facing on a yearly basis. And Chelsea are obviously there. Chelsea are probably just, I don't think Tuchel is the finished article from a league perspective, but you know, there's endless amounts of money there. City is endless amounts of money. And I think, you know, what we just need to make sure that we are is consistently competitive. And we will pick up our share of leagues at the back of that by just being in the mix. And you'll pick up your leagues on the transition years when City have to go a season, and probably only a season where they go. Like, next season for me would be a transition season for City. I think City are going to go balls out this year because that team,
it's aging,
you know,
isn't it?
It is aging, right? And he's going to have to start breaking it up. And I don't think they can throw the money around they used to throw around, to be honest with you, because they know they're being looked at, right? So I think they're being quite conservative lately in terms of what they're doing, right? So you know, although there's not going to be any penalty for what they did in the past, I think, you know, they are conscious of what they need to do in the future, from an optics, from lots of
just
different
the way
reasons.
the world's economy and stuff is. We're coming out of a pandemic, and you spending 120 million on a sub.
Yeah, it doesn't bother them, man. It doesn't bother them, though. You know, they can just go off and do it. But if you look at them, and we're building this year feels like, to me, this year is starting to feel like the year before we won the league. You know, where we went on a magnificent run and we kept on our coattails and we're lucky to win the league, not to win the league, right? We could do that. We could literally lose the league by 3 points, by 1 game this year. And that's where I think it'll probably end up, right? We lose it by maybe, we might lose it by about by that. The other thing I was thinking about earlier on is that, we've always been on the receiving end of one of these whereby it just doesn't work out for us. It would be very nice for us to win a league whereby we didn't have to fucking win it in February. We just got there at the end. Last game of the season, we were a better goal difference. We'd beaten them there. We both go in level in the last match and we get across the line. That would be fantastic. And I don't think that's outside the realms of possibility either, to be honest with you, this season. It could happen. But it does feel to me like we're building. We're setting something up. Sometimes it takes a while to do that. And that's what I'm saying to you. If we can go the next 4 or 5 matches and, steamrolling teams, winning, getting ourselves to semi-finals of the FA Cup, semi-finals or quarter-finals, semi-finals of the Champions League, all of a sudden then Juggernaut Liverpool is back in, right? And it's rolling. And now we're building towards next season. And I think we hit next season like that, right? Yeah. And I would fully expect us to be the team to beat next season, right? Not saying
I think I'm just going to come into here. I think Klopp is nearly surprised that we're still in the 4. Think about it. That we're in the 4 competitions. You would have looked at us. There was people worried before Christmas, Keith. We had a few injuries. We are wondering, geez, if any one of the front 3 get injured, we're fucked here. And all of a sudden we've seen the light. The curtains have opened up, and it's sunny again. We've got the players back. There's no injuries. It's middle of February. We're in a cup final. We're going forward. We're in the 5th round of the FA Cup. We've Norwich at home at Anfield with a chance to win that. You get into the quarters. We're into the last 16 after winning 6 games out of 6, which we never did before in the Champions League. And we still have an outside chance, albeit outside chance of winning the bleeding league. I think Klopp, when you think about it, is a little bit. I'm not saying surprised. He'll always say the team, are brilliant, and I think he is a little surprised. I've seen him in a few interviews where he's. That weekend team we played against Leicester could have really backfired. We were 2-0 down against them in the semi-final. So in his mind, he probably expected to lose that game, Keith.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Let's be real about it. We turned that around and won on penalties.
But the players have done that, to be honest with you. The management haven't picked the side to win that. The management have picked the side for games and experience and all that kind of stuff. The players on the pitch have won that.
He picked that game for the next game in mind. Yeah, that's what the
players on the pitch have got us to that, because it's been kids right the way through. So that's what I say. I just think, listen, likewise, we've a couple of poor results and all of a sudden then we're building again, to be honest with you. But I just feel that, we're starting to feel now that we really know what we're doing again as a football team, right? And it's going right to be through for the full 90 minutes, not just in stages. As I said, the only thing I think we really need to improve on is our goal conversion. Is our chance conversion, big chance conversion. Yeah. Big chance conversion, I think, needs a bit of work. 20 attempts on goals, 20 attempts on and 2 goals. It should be a lot more than that, to be honest with you. It should be a lot more than that, And I think when you get down to the business end of the Champions League, you don't get as many chances. You need to be clinical, right? You need to be clinical or absolutely utterly dominant, whereby you get away with it. And I'm not too sure.
Or watertight. I'm just 1-0 at do you all the time. Yeah. But yourself, no matter how watertight you are, 1-0, a penalty, a bad decision or something, an OG or a rush of blood, anything can happen at 1-0. The famous Arsenal will win 1-0.
Yeah, two goals. If you score twice against your nearest rivals in most matches, you should be coming away with the points. And we've done that twice this season. Not done it, but let's see.
I see Sir Oswald Fortitude. 70s were magical for Liverpool. Shanks had handed off to Uncle Bob. We began our European legacy. I used to go next door to watch Liverpool matches because they had colour telly. Now you're showing your age, Sir Oswald. I didn't even have a fucking telly. But those were the days, 70s and 80s, of course. They were the magical days. Keito, you're rocking off now to watch.
I am going to rock and roll now, if that's all right.
I'm going to watch it myself. I might stay on for another little while. There's a few people.
Yeah, no problem. You can. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend.
Thanks for popping in, bro.
Come on, Ireland, and come on the Reds tomorrow.
Gets in. Right. Talk to you, Keito.
See you later, brother. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, bro. That was Keith at Eaton Ryan on Twitter. Check him out. Top guy. We'll stay on for another few minutes, guys. Listen, as I said earlier, tomorrow is just about getting 3 points, no injuries, winning the game as easy as possible, and just going again. Robert Blundell says, what would you have Salah signing a new contract or Klopp signing a new contract? Good question, actually. I'd love both of them to sign a new contract, but if I'd one, Klopp, I think Klopp makes everything tick. To be fair, since he's come in October 15, he's just turned the club inside out and around again. But absolutely, really, really would. I really, Klopp, definitely. You can't, Salah, can you replace Salah? Haaland, Mbappe, someone like that, maybe. Can you replace Klopp? No. So simple answer to that one is Klopp, definitely. But I'd love the two of them. And I have a feeling that maybe if Salah does sign an extension, Klopp will have till 2024, which will be another 2.5 years. Will he sign till 2026 and say, listen, I want to go again. I want to build a team around Klopp, around Salah signing his new contract. The likes of Diaz, the likes of young Elliott there, the likes of young Jones, Kata Gordon, Martin, Tyler Martin, Trent, all the young lads there. Maybe say, listen, this team could go next 4 or 5 years. I want to be around for it. You never know. It's a possibility. That's what I'm hoping. I'm sure all Liverpool fans are hoping that too. LJ says, hope Klopp can manage his squad of super talented individuals. Hope he has his head sorted with Keita, Ox and Manes. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Naby Keita. We haven't mentioned Oxlade-Chamberlain. Both are available for tomorrow, of course. Will they play? He does throw Ox in every now and again into the midfield, doesn't he? He really does throw him in. You never know. He might even start Naby or Ox tomorrow. He just might. He might throw Hendo in, give Fabinho a rest, throw Hendo in, Ox, Hendo, Milner, Ox, Hendo, Elliott. I mean, the options are there for Liverpool. The options are there. That's what really, really is brilliant about Liverpool at the moment. Dave, comparing our poverty reminds me of that great Monty Python sketch. Yeah, well, geez, the 70s and 80s. If you think it's bad now, over the 70s and 80s, I was born in 73, so don't remember the 70s too much, but mainly the 80s, you know yourself. Did United finish 1-1, by the way, against Southampton? It was 90, I think it was 95th, 96th minute, and I turned it off. So unless someone got a late winner, but I think it's finished 1-1. Let me know in the chat if it finished 1-1 United, but they are really, wow. If I could only get either Klopp extension or Salah extension, it would have to be Klopp. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there have to be Klopp. I don't think Klopp's the best, I'm going to say best player, but the best individual at Liverpool. There's just everybody around Liverpool, the staff, FSG themselves, the club, the players, the dinner lady, the tea lady, whatever you want to call her. It's Klopp is number one. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt. Yep, finished 1-1. Another great draw for United. Oh my God, absolute shite. They're in trouble for top four. Then Spurs let them off the hook the other day. They got beaten by Southampton. That's two good results for Southampton, I suppose. Beating Spurs 3-2 away last week, getting a 1-1 at Old Trafford. So they're starting to play a bit of football, I suppose. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you what, if someone wants to come in for 5 minutes and give me their thoughts on the Burnley game tomorrow, let me know. If someone wants to pop in, I'll put the link in the chat. Want to pop in for 5 minutes, maybe? If you don't, no panic. Rod maybe down under. Mark Forrest. Tom Conley. Sir Oswald Fortitude. Let me know, guys. 5 minutes, you can come on. Give me your thoughts on the game. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool tomorrow. As I say, it doesn't matter. It's about winning the game. It's about 3 points this time of the year. And then all eyes on San Siro Wednesday against AC? Inter Milan. We already did the double on AC, but Inter a slightly better team. I know AC beat them 2-1, Giroud double the other day or last week, but Inter were all over them. But still, going for goals is the Anfield Lark. You can pop in, Alex, if you want as well. But I'll put the link in if you want. Anybody can pop in for 5 minutes. I'll put the link in here if I can. There is the link, guys. If you want to pop in for 5 minutes. The link from StreamYard is there. Yeah, 1-1 kick. 1-1 kicky at that. Great result, 1-1. I'm already in bed, says Rod. You could come on live from bed. Rod Meta from bed. Love it. Down under, baby. Down under. Where's Jack Mack? I don't know. I sent Jack a message earlier on. Let's see if Jackie boy's around. I'll give him a ring. What, a text. See if he's on. He's probably, I was going to say walking the cash, but you know what I mean. Jackie boy. My wife will, my wife will kill me if I start talking, says Rod. Don't do it. Don't want any divorces on the hand. Don't want any. Let's see if I can get Jackie on. Jackie boy. Come on, even over 10 minutes, Jackie boy. People giving in the very high hopes against us there. Playing against Napoli tonight. Whoa, that's a tough one. Napoli are a decent side. Jackie is busy. No panic. No problem, Jackie boy. I'm not going to stay on much longer anyway. Sorry, Dave. I'm a bit of a Neanderthal. What is that link? There it is there. There it is right there. There's the link. The link is in the chat, Sir Oswald. There it is in the chat. You can click on it, follow the click, the allow camera and allow. Just keep it clean. Keep it, I'm watching from an office in India, says LJ. Hit the like, hit the share. Many likes have we got here? We've got 11 people in live. So how many likes have we? Should have at least 11 likes then, shouldn't we? I think it was up to 12 or 15 in. So how many have we got here? We've only got 9 likes, guys. Hit the like. Hit the like, baby. It's always good. I always like going live. As you say, I'm going to watch Ireland. They're playing in about an hour's time. An hour and a half. They're playing in the rugby. Six Nations playing in Paris. So that should be decent. Cannot wait for that. Just tell people that we are live. It's always good to know. Oh, Jackie boy is coming in. Jackie boy. He's going to just come in without his camera on. He's just going to come in. He's going to come in blind. I see a great thing here from Southampton FC's Twitter. Maybe they got hammered 9-0 by United last year. He goes, well, that went slightly better than last season. 1-1 draw, of course, at Old Trafford today. Brilliant from Southampton FC's Twitter. Wow, that looks good game. I'll have to check that out. Wales 14, Scotland 14. Wow, that looks like a great game. I would have fancied Scotland than that, but Wales will always give you a game in the Principality. Yeah, Anfield Lark, you can pop in if you want to. Jackie boy is in the house, Jack Mac LFC. He hasn't his camera turned on, so he's going incognito. Jackie boy, how are you?
How you doing, Dave? You okay?
What's happening, buddy? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. How's everyone's weekend going? You right, Dave?
Oh, good. I just want your views on the big game tomorrow, Jack. Obviously, the huge game tomorrow, which, of course, is Burnley Liverpool. Where do you think it'll go? It's always a tough game there.
Yeah, no, most definitely, mate. I was speaking to Dan, our good Burnley mate.
Yeah.
It's they're caught in a catch-22 in reality. Looks like Sean Dyche this season has very much approached his football in a different way. Obviously, as he said, Dan, obviously Burnley, the stigma that is attached to Sean Dyche in terms of the way in which he does approach football games. But he said to me in my pre-match that he tried to play a bit more expansive football, obviously with the likes of Cornet, Weghorst coming into the football club in the window just gone. That they're trying to play a different brand of football, but at the minute, it's probably the worst time in terms of the season, especially when you've not got the points on the board in reality. But he's saying fingers crossed he can survive. Obviously, got a lot of games in hand, but Dave and chat as well in it. This is another test. We're on our revenge tour. It's a team that sits low block, that has frustrated Liverpool in the past. But as me and you have said, mate, in the last couple of weeks, if Liverpool want to be successful in all trophies, we just got to win every single game, mate. There's no room for dropping silly points.
North Red says the reason why you're blanked off is because you're naked in bed.
Right.
Oh my God! Let's hope not, Jackie. We might be in the shower. He's in the bath. He's sitting in the bath.
No, I'm outside Goodison, mate, painting the electric on the wall and going.
Exactly. Rod says, my wife says we're nuts. We are nuts.
Yeah.
We are absolutely nuts. Well, John Moore says hello to everyone. Hit the like, guys. Come on, let's get those likes up. Get the shares out. So, Jack, I mean, it's hard to pick an 11. Keith was on earlier, and I was just saying to him that it's very good. It's a good sign when you can't pick a starting 11 for Liverpool, because that means you have options all over the pitch.
Yeah.
And the good sign is, even if we bring in 2 or 3, the level of brilliance doesn't drop dramatically at all. If not, it's not like last season, the year before, you might have said you're bringing in 1 or 2 players, 1 or 2 of your top players out. The level drops off. The likes of Divock Origi, say starts, say Mane's missing. You have Jota, who's just, you can't just leave Jota out at the moment. That's how good he is. And if Luisdiaz coming in, I mean, you've Bobby, you've Mane, who wasn't even on the pitch the other night, and you've Mo Salah. I mean, it's dreamland.
Yeah, well, we said, since we've done our YouTube, mate, haven't we, since we've started our journey, and most Reds around the world, we need squad depth. And I think you look at City, you look at the likes of Chelsea, as much as Chelsea like to moan about not having covered in terms of the full-back roles. It's quite silly. That's the club's fault in reality. You've got a lot of money to spend. But, as you said there, the names that you just riddled off, it's tremendous. Cheers for that, Mark. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, Mark Forrest put Jack's YouTube channel in the chat there. I'm sure you all know who Jack Mack is, but
the midfield will be interesting in the next 6 to 12 months, Dave. In terms of, obviously, Milner will be leaving the football club, but in terms of, we've scored 60-odd goals already in the Premier League. I wish that Trent's doing that.
Tap him up.
Yeah. Trent's already doing that, mate. Pretty sure he's got Jude on speed dial, Trent, so it'll be good.
Hey, Jude. But no, I don't. The thing about Jude Bellingham is it's a big money signing. It's not going to be cheap, Jack. I don't even know whether we need someone like that. I mean, Liverpool are going to look at areas where we need, at the moment, we do need cover for Trent. There's just no doubt about it.
Yeah, Trent, Fabinho as well, possibly.
Yeah, and possibly Fabinho. But depending on who leaves in the summer, if the likes of Salah signs the long-term contract, which we're hoping happens, if the likes of Mane signs a contract, do they let Bobby go and bring in Carvalho for really low money but potential 10, 15 years in him at 19? He's not 20 till August. Do we then say, right, we only really need a Fabinho type midfielder, and maybe a fullback option? I mean, I don't know. This is great. This is the great thing about it. I don't think we need as much as what people are making out. We might only need 2 quality players there. Depends on who leaves, of course.
Yeah, no, we're spoiled for choice, aren't we, mates? And I think we're blessed. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp, the squad in which he did inherit when he did come into the football club, is chalk and cheese. It's night and day in terms of the quality that both teams did possess. Obviously, it was shocking that the squad that Klopp did inherit, but with his work in terms of, obviously, people behind closed doors, the transfer strategy, we've got it very well. And I'm pretty sure, like Diaz, I think if you listen to all the journalists in which he did discuss the Liverpool transfer of Diaz, he was on top of Liverpool's list, but obviously he moved very quickly when they were under the understanding of, obviously, Tottenham were in advanced negotiations, and that Porto were allowed to lower their fee for Diaz. So Liverpool swept in, and obviously they couldn't allow one of their main targets. I think it more or less was one of our main targets in the transfer window. So we brought him in now, which is tremendous, and that he come the end of the season, depending on how well we do, hopefully we win quite a lot of trophies at the end of the season, obviously. But in terms of, we do win the Champions, do win the Premier League, and obviously the revenue in which that would generate as well, it would allow us to very much push forward, even advance in terms of transfer negotiations, mate. But we're just blessed to have Jota, mate. Obviously, I don't know how good can this man get.
We're gonna have a little 2-3 minute. We're gonna have a little 2-3 minute chat, a little appreciation for Jota. I mean, we knew he was half decent. He was a decent player at Wolves, but I really didn't know enough about him, Jack, when he came in. And we all were thinking about Thiago, and Thiago had signed that day. Remember the tweet from James Pearce that morning? Everybody was ringing each other and doing videos. And I think it was the next day Jota came in. It was literally 48 hours, 24. Jota was in, and everybody was going, what? Like, wow, that's a nice little signing in the back door, 40 million or something. That's, it's not a huge risk at his age. He's a Portuguese international, but this guy, and he's so good in the air. He's unbelievable in the air, but he's an intelligent player, Jack. This is what I like about him. He's a fox in the box. I heard you saying it the other night. Those 2 goals he got were like the Gary Lineker goals years ago for England and Spurs. You know, that, or even the Ian Rush type or the Aldo type.
Yeah.
But he can do other things. He can score screamers from outside the box. He can score tap-ins. He can score headers. How he gets up for some of them bloody headers. He's an absolute nightmare to play against. And he is, for me, a huge... But he takes pressure off the likes of Mane, Salah, even Diaz coming in. He has to take the pressure off because he's doing so well.
Yeah, and the point is, Dave and everyone in chat, you reckon, let us know if Jota will surpass in terms of goal output in the Premier League. Will he surpass Salah? It'll be a massive ask. It will be a massive ask.
Big one.
I tell you what, could he do it? Yes. Could Mo absolutely bang 40 goals in a year? Most definitely.
Even talking about that, Jack, even you saying now, you know, can he surpass Salah is ridiculous when you think about it. You know what I mean? Even to be thinking about or talking about it is crazy.
That'd help us in terms of winning games of football, mate, wouldn't it? It'd be tremendous if that was the case.
Yeah, absolutely. I see Anfield Lark saying, how do you find cover for Trent, though? Would be difficult to find another Simicus on the right. Reckon it's better to have a midfield that can slot in. Kendo can be trained up for a right back. Yeah, well, that's true. But Liverpool's transfer men, the people in the background working on it. I'm sure they've been working on it for a while now. They've seen the gap there. They know what we need in the summer. You know, we've seen what they've done, Jack, in the last 2-3 years in particular, the players they brought in, and it is Klopp. I mean, I've seen it. There was a thing in earlier, and I'll give you the question as well. Yeah. If there was 2 players in this summer, one was Mo Salah with a year left in his contract. Number 2 is Jurgen Norbert Klopp with 2 years on his contract this summer. And a genie, not Genie Wijnaldum, but a genie comes out of the bottle and says, you can pick one of these people to sign a long-term contract at Liverpool. You don't get 2 of them. Who is it?
Well, for me, it's straight away Klopp, mate. He has been Liverpool's greatest ever signings in the league for the past 30 years, mate. Obviously,
absolutely.
Liverpool Football Club.
I mean, I'd love both of them to sign extensions, but if someone's giving me the option, you know, it has to be Klopp. I mean, he's turned the team inside out.
Yeah, no, he's revolutionised Liverpool in terms of the league. He's made us competitive in every aspect. We used to have Roy, didn't we, for the worst 8 months of our lives, it seemed like. And obviously we had Rodgers. Yeah, but that's just what makes it. We're just so blessed, mate.
Circumstance as well, Jack. I mean, he went into that team. We were in ribbons. Let's be real. I mean, you know, he gets a lot of jokes and owl jokes and pigeon jokes and whatever you want, but he gets pigeonholed. Let's put it that way. But
it's like
even board at the time, and you know the Ticks and Gillette and the team we had. That team you're scraping the barrel for God's sake.
Well, even if you have got the worst team in the world, mate, you're still at least trying to win attacking game of football.
You try to play football. Even
if you get beat 4 or 5-3 every game, at least have a go. But it was terrible, mate. But obviously with Jurgen Klopp, mate, as I said, as Jurgen says with all these players, if a player wants to leave, he won't stop them. But most importantly, the one factor in which he loved about Diaz was his eagerness to come to Liverpool Football Club. He wanted to test himself. We spoke pre-window, didn't we, Dave, and all the Reds around the world. Players with the attitude in which they can implement, but players that have got the ability and the attitude, the right attitude to come into this club. And many players would look at Liverpool's attacking threat and go, no, don't fancy it. I can't foresee myself being in the starting 11. But Diaz was like, no. Salah was like that in the past as well. He comes to the club, Mane. All these great players have come in and said, no, I want to establish myself as a first team regular or even in that squad. And all these players, they're all about the squad. You listen to the interviews, you listen to every interview they've done since coming to the football club, but that is the whole ethos of Liverpool Football Club. But most importantly, how Jurgen Klopp does manage big personalities, because there's a lot of personalities in that changing room. But Jurgen Klopp is a master in terms of man management and a master in terms of tactical as well. So he knows what he's talking about. But it's tremendous, mate. And we're riding the wave, mate. And I'm pretty sure we will win quite a lot of trophies this season.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was saying it to Keith earlier in the stream. I mean, we're in 4 competitions. The league, we've a chance, Jack. We do have a chance. Just the way it is, the squad coming together at the right time. City will know we've a chance. They'll be looking over their shoulders. There's no doubt about it. Especially if we can win that game in hand and bring it to 6 points, I think we've a really good chance. We still have to go to the Etihad Stadium, remember. So we've a League Cup final against Chelsea in another week or two. There's a chance there for it. I think I wouldn't dismiss it now. We're in it to win at this Carabao Cup final. We call it a Mickey Mouse trophy. It is one of the lower trophies. There's no doubt about it.
It's a trophy.
When you get to the final in Wembley against Chelsea as well, you want to win it. Plus, it gives you the impetus. It gives them the taste of a trophy. It gives them a taste of success to go further then for the rest of the season. It just gives you a kick up the arse, basically, for March, April, May. And that's another reason why I want to win against Chelsea. Other than that, it's Chelsea, ATM boys, plastic boys, whatever you want to call them. But it's huge. And City have done it in the last few years. And people were wondering why they always go and win that competition. I think they won it 4 times in a row or something.
Yes.
Because it gives you that taste. It gives you that boost. You know what I mean? Going into the rest of your season. Takes a bit of pressure off. You own a trophy in the cabinet there. Nice. Let's go for the rest of the season. You know, that type of way. Champions League midweek, Inter Milan away. Won't be easy over the 2 legs against them. And we're still in the FA Cup. Norwich at home. So, Jack, these times right now are dreamland.
Yeah, most definitely, mate. And it's what being supporting Liverpool Football Club is all about. Obviously, we had quite a lot of years where we weren't competing for titles, but in the reality of now, we knew where we stood in terms of football and landscape. But now we're putting in a position for the whole club and obviously the ownership as well. Regardless of what you think about the owners, the good or bad job you think they do, but you've put us in a great position. And obviously, hopefully the Ev do get they'll bottle that. They'll bottle that mark anyway. Come on, Leeds.
Yeah.
But
2-0 up against Leeds, is it? 2-0?
Yeah,
What?
that won't last. But it's the thing, Dave, innit? We've got to win. I never grew up in the 70s and 80s, but those teams, they had the hunger. They won absolutely everything that was on offer. Well, they tried the best to anyway. But I want us to win everything this season, mate. I'll be really disappointed. I know hindsight, everyone will be after the game if we do lose against Chelsea. You'll be like, oh yeah.
No, I don't want to lose against them. Don't want to lose against them.
No. But
don't want to lose any final, Jack.
Yeah, but that, as you said there, David, as well. City, they've got that winning mentality, and Liverpool have got that year in which obviously we won the Champions League. I think that's very much what helped Liverpool win the Premier League. We had that realization that we can win a major trophy, and obviously it's not as always as easy as just putting 11 players on the football pitch. There's a lot of determining factors in terms of obviously injuries, form, and everything in reality. But for me, win everything this season, and obviously if we lose a couple of games or we get knocked out of a couple of competitions, it happens, but I think paramount, we just got to keep on winning. But I think if we can get our foot over the line against Chelsea, it would be a massive, massive injection of a boost of confidence, and most importantly, give Diaz his first trophy at Liverpool, so won't be too bad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the League Cup could basically be like an energy boost drink. That you've ran a marathon, you're running the marathon, you're feeling tired near the end, and someone hands you an energy Red Bull or something. It gives you wings for the final 3 months. So that's what I'm taking out of that League Cup final at Wembley. You know, it's a day out. I'd love to go to it though. That'd be a lovely day out down in London. But that's what it gives you if you win. No matter how you win it, penalties, extra time, whatever way, 90 minutes, whatever way you win it. We beat them in the Super Cup on penalties, remember, a while back. So, you know, we've had two draws with them. Two draws. That sounds like a bit of an oxymoron going on there, but it won't be easy. They have a quality strength side, but they're just drawn too many games, and they're not exactly free-flowing at the moment. I think the way we're playing at the moment, we'll probably go into that slight favours, Jack.
Yeah, they're very heavily reliant on keeping players fit, aren't they, mate? Obviously, we should have won at the Bridge a couple of weeks ago. We just bottled a 2-goal lead. Yeah. As much as it was a good goal by Kovacic and it was a bloody worldy strike, sometimes you've got to sit there and go, yeah, sounds fair enough. But I think we would have learned quite a lot from that game. We're fully capable of the players within our squad. If Kante's not playing, obviously the likes of Kovacic, Lukaku and Timo, I think they'll be gone in the summer. I was watching the Southampton game at Old Trafford today, and that Brozier, he's on loan from Chelsea, and I tell you, that if Brozier is not in that Chelsea team next season leading the line, I'd be very surprised, because he is a cut above.
He's an absolute bleeding handful, isn't he? Yeah. Did you see him against City when they drew with City?
Oh, yeah, he was all over the place, mate.
He was all over them, hitting crossbars, fucking just real awkward, real bit of pace about him, bit of nous about him, bit of skill, but being awkward, a big sort of fella.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have beaten City that day. Remember the one? It was 1-1, I think it was as well. They've got to start to play a bit of football, Southampton, now, get a few results together.
Yeah, obviously, I think we've got them to come to Anfield, so it's not going to be an easy game, and you never know. Hopefully, they can take a couple of points off, obviously, teams in and around us come the end of the season. You never know. But that's the beauty of watching the Premier League, Dave, innit? And that's what frustrates probably a lot of Burnley fans or a lot of teams down the bottom. As much as you've got to get the right balance in terms of how you approach football games. But most importantly, not a lot of people, not a lot of clubs are backed by states in reality. We know who they are anyway.
We know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But it's about spending the money on the right players. Not everyone can buy the way to success. It's about the teams. That's why I admire, obviously, as you mentioned there, Southampton, very shrewd with the business. The work in which Potter's doing at Brighton, it's remarkable. Me and you spoke, Dave, and a lot of Reds around the world. He's probably one of the most underrated managers in the Premier League, and I think it will be, at least come the end of this season. If he's not at a big club, he eventually will get that big move. So keep an eye on it.
I tell you, even David Moyes is doing a decent job at West Ham, and you have to say.
Even still, yeah. I was looking at the table. Obviously, United have dropped. It was
1-1, another great draw for them at home.
Great. Tremendous. They're an absolute disgrace, mate. I don't think they understand their fans how bad they are. And long may it continue. We were in that conundrum, but we didn't have such great players in terms. Obviously, there was years where Liverpool stumbled across good signings, obviously like Torres, Gerrard, Suarez, and all that. We stumbled some years, but that squad is fully capable of winning the league. I know the fridge at the back, but if you had a Pep or if you had a Klopp or a Ten Hag at Ajax, an actual coach that actually knows in terms of tactical nous, in terms of how to set up a team. Yeah, as Paul Scholes said in the post-match, you've got a managing director or a football director in the hot seat of Manchester United. Tremendous for all us. We can take the piss out of them, really.
Great to see.
Bloody mess, but long may it continue. Up the Reds.
Look, Jack, I'm going to let you go now in a minute if you want, but I just think Liverpool, and people forget, I mean, I've been following them since the mid-'80s. I've seen the great times in the 80s. We went a bit off the boil in the 90s. We'd still win the odd League Cup and FA Cup and stuff like that. Took us 30 years to win the league, guys. 30 years to win the league. When we won it in 1990, if someone would have turned around to me and said, you'll be 30 years before you win it again, I would have laughed at them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, football is cyclical. Football goes up and down. You're not always going to be brilliant. But this squad right now that is in Kirby training right now, wherever they are, at the AXA training, I mean, is as good a squad on paper as I've seen in a long time.
We got the young players, haven't we, Dave? Obviously, Trent's 23. We've got Costas, obviously. Robbo's like 27, 28.
It's about bringing the age down. That's the profile. Yeah. You need the age profile to be in around 26, 27. Yeah. A mean average, basically. And Liverpool, obviously, young lads like Caden Gordon, keeps his head on his shoulders. This guy could be, wow, like another Elliot. Then you've got Trent, Martin. I really do like that Tyler Martin guy in midfield. You've full backs like Box and Bonner, and you've Brannigan. You've got these guys. You've also got that young, and you've this young Polish guy, Michalowski, I think, the forward. A lot of talk about him. I mean, Kelleher's young enough in goal. You've got Kanate coming in, one of the best young centre halves. Gomez still there, young centre half. Simicus is young enough. Trent's young. I mean, you've got a basis. Elliot, we haven't mentioned Elliot. Carvalho, hopefully deal done in June for young Carvalho. Oh, yes. You know what I mean? I mean, Diaz is just gone 25 last few weeks. Yeah. I mean, we are starting to build that basis to go again, and I think that very fact that Klopp only has 2.5 years left on his contract, 2024, I'm thinking if we can bring 1 or 2 quality players in the summer, he might look at that team and go, right, I've 2 years on this current contract to blend them into either win the league or Champions League.
Yeah.
Do I need 4 to do that? And maybe I do an extension for 2. You know what I mean? It's possible. It is possible.
It's the dream, and Dave. Obviously, if Salah and Klopp did sign on the same day, in reality, fingers crossed. But when the club are trying to do deals, we've spoke, haven't we, in the past, mate, on shows, it's not going to be a quick fix in terms of such big contracts that are going to be on the table. They're not going to be getting done straight away. And obviously, Rami, Salah's agent, I think he just loves the banter on Twitter. Mo loves Liverpool Football Club. We love Mo. Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp given the great opportunity of playing in the Premier League. He reacted to the critics, obviously, at Chelsea. It didn't work out for him, but he's got the best opportunity for him to win the Ballon d'Ors at Liverpool. I'm not buying all this. And the last 24 hours, I've seen rumours linking Mane, absolute loads of bull. Don't believe anything you read in terms of Sadio Mane. He's going to come back. Just look at him smiling, Dave. We've all seen the pictures on social media. He's absolutely bloody buzzing to be back at Liverpool.
Yeah, now look, Mane as well. I don't know when you've seen that touch control turning shot at AXA training ground yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Postage stamp top corner. Jackie, I think we leave it there. An hour and 6 minutes in. I was only meant to come on for 20 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Well, we just had a little break there anyway. I was just opening my mouth.
No, you're all right. And what's your plans for shows? Are you doing a live show for the Burnley game? Or?
Yeah, most definitely meant to do a live stream watch along. Hopefully, if you want to drop in, Dave, you're very welcome to. Probably will do like a live show a bit later tonight, reacting to obviously the Premier League games. Might watch one of the games anyway, but thank you for having me on, mate. Obviously, it was only just popping on anyway. But...
No, absolutely, Jackie boy. We all know Jack Mac LFC, of course. We Keith at Eaton Ryan on Twitter earlier as well. Thanks to Keith and Jack for coming on to this little build-up show for Burnley Liverpool tomorrow. We actually talked about a lot more stuff than that, and that's what I like about on this show. A bit of chat, a bit of realism, Jack, a bit of appreciation for this football team we have. So if you haven't subscribed to either myself or Jack's channel, subscribe, hit the like. Talk to you soon. Thanks to the chat guys. They're absolute legends. Without you, there's no chatting. The same people in your chat, Jack, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and these guys here. You know? Jack the legend says Anfield.
These are all the legends, everyone in chat as well. So hope you're having a good weekend anyway.
Rod, John Moore, all the typical guys. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe. Talk soon. This means more. Liverpool to beat Burley tomorrow. I'm going 2-0. Cheers.